So individual players na team no o come in a boom now team get the best out of them then there's a huge problem. Per the sign on your Chelsea standard. Few Maduke Munya Chelsea standard. Asimbi na to Chelsea.
Dear Lut.
And a baby or find yourself now some of these signings they have to do. But I think there were some two signings be on the pressure about team super, especially Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. For the said amount of money Chelsea go for mobile. And you could see say those two players and expectations will be different. Because of the amount of money they got on mobile. But I think say for quite some games now, it may be Kranana Enzo Caicedo no
yeah.
So there were a lot of complaints. They said, I don't know, man in country, I don't know about continent issues, baby. But I think the last few games, you know, Maresca Mebo Nabaso say he has been able to find a way for Mumi, you know, to fit together in a setup where things are working for them. And I think it deals with the change of role, especially for Enzo Fernandez. And the setup where the fullback will always invert to become the second pivot. Edema Chelsea, if free Enzo Fernandez, maneko any more, manitimi and your baby. But omumi no na sem ne dan chen no. E wo bre bia club bia take off said you take this discussion. And I think sir this moment in time will be very important in Chelsea's history. Either say they cannot grow from this, and I say they will become much more better after this. Because I believe the solid foundation of winning culture and mentality has been set with the Conference League. No credit the Conference League, the Kenya Chelsea standard. But the reality, no, actually, say, I want Chelsea Gina say. Tina de Biameka same way say they are facts and their realities. The fact is Chelsea standard Champions League. Expectations around Chelsea ne was low. But the reality is, baby, almost find you almost self no. Any team they rebuild no my year for quite some time no. Almost level no Conference League no. That is the reality. But reality no so now bet to me they improve yourself. They are setting the tone to become much more better and return to your standard. It's the Conference League now Chelsea ageno. Me to me no idea trophy ni GNA shada nyewu because the reality of Chelsea baby omoda. But the man adiwe ya one say it could be the catalyst. Say a bit to me the Chelsea akwa could do a different level with project now told Boli Abefa team now or day. And now make say the take off point for Chelsea and Roman Abramovich. Near the Carabao Cup. Jose Mourinho Bayern or the Beji. Wow, we here at Chelsea 2002-2003 under Claudio Ranieri. That team was solid. I want the kind of signings ni bi kura Jose Mourinho be did one be in 2002-2003. Frank Lampard mu nyina ba before. And sana Jose Mourinho be fa team no. But fancy share sa results no munya aye na photo to after so mo the Carabao Cup ne be league ni Chelsea we na chi biem. So it is always important to realize the moment you find yourself in winning a certain trophy. Me dey bia make say Manchester United there. Omudi trophies no mo je ne kwa. Sebi adwimi anta chiri. Say a high take off point. The omuni manga so match season yan kwa trophyless. But how to move from that stage to a different level no is what matters. Jurgen Klopp buy the Europa League final me boa. Obori no say there be we have a take off point we need to move to the different level. And obeje Carabao. So there were points movie the call. So anytime you win a trophy where factually it is not your standard, but in reality you are supposed to be there. And also you know that particular moment done every single thing around your project, around the mentality, around everything. Fancy, this is where Chelsea finds themselves. One, consistency. Two, the quality of players you add to the team. Baby, I'm working on players need be on ma after 2 or 3 second season you also mujebi kwai. Madueke money some boys need be on momo for monko. Omunko tonton omunko fa players be experience 1 or 2 3 be some from befra. But they actually say won't be more chance in the view. when you want to move to a different level, there are certain players you need to sacrifice. Omar Barada can say me say, oh yeah, team do maybe a first 2 seasons, you know. Who do certain stage where some players beyond my you have to allow them to leave. And also John Mokwan because value you know. Then you bring in an experienced quality. Your players become when you're young, but they have so much experience. Because Chelsea team now here and around fancy. If they are going to move to the different stage, they need a proper center forward. Se Lavia no more na injury situation name Mwakodana. They could literally sell him and bring in another midfielder.
Andre Santos eba.
Andre Santos mukrapo.
Andre Santos eba na that sporting guy no mo foul ni Giovanni Quenda no. Amugu.
And the center back role no. Omu here another.
Mario Hiller of Lazio.
Oh, they need I'm a goalkeeping. Because Guardiola on member City team they so more transfers. About 17-18 no. Okofa when by Claudio Bravo me boa. Oba no say Claudio Bravo no. After 1 season or 2 seasons them one no. But betu jo hatu. Ojo mi enu nyina kwa no kofa this in them. And na kura me no kasa say this in club e dey.
Yeah.
Level now Chelsea are moving on. Now they've absorbed the reality. They will need to come out of the reality and face their standard. If they are to face their standard, the core of the team, Chelsea are building. Aka basani na kakrebi because core they are there Enzo ni baby ako. We are there Caicedo ni baby ako. We are there Nicolas Jackson ni baby ako. We are there Kopama ni baby ako. Pedro Neto muno also we are bench players. Yemfa Madwe kemu nkopre. Nicolas Jackson is better off even coming from the wings. Get a solid striker, center back, and you'll be good to go. And I think, sir, how they'll move on from this stage in a better say, Todd Bowley muy ambitious and also muy ambitious. Because fancy, baby a project in a Bruno. And you quite say Chelsea should look back again. They will need to carry on and move further up the table.
And may I feel the Champions League qualification a day transfer no like Newman
that is it
because some man qualified there come sign the
same strategy
but
now the platform na set it platform na set it that ho and ade ba kwa na Enzo Maresca type complaining pound when the press conference here said team need to be a mentality, the winning mentality, the winning environment or no even including getting leaders in the dressing room. And my Chelsea players need to be cry sorry can say, oh, that who leaders for dressing room now. But this is the moment they will need to carry on. Congratulations to Chelsea. And I think say Todd Bowley, maybe I would do say no. The ambitions in this baby. And I feel so also me who ye because Roman Abramovich take you off no I heard he played Champions League final upon final. He won the Champions League. He won the league 2 times. 1-2 Sabeji League in this twice with him. Third, esa the Antonio Conte Sabeji League or GG League in this. Away from Chelsea. Shadia, me who say Manchester City a room into the market per Ryan Sheki. Omo per Ryan Sheki. Now Ryan Sheki sika 7 no hono. Ubeka say Manchester City it fits so well say ombetimi akwakofan. Already City are speaking to Tijani Renders. You close to say Manchester City beat me for Tijani Renders. But fancy, the issue here say Guardiola, is this the biggest rebuild that will Manchester City? Fancy, because I think after 2017-2018, this is the biggest rebuild I see Pep Guardiola doing at Manchester City. But I think he's also touching certain positions. New more did you be saying or yeah, you need beams I want to chiwo. Because me check Manchester City at you one now. Edison, likely so be free Manchester City. City will need a replacement. After Benjamin Mendy, City replacing Benjamin Mendy with any left back. Josko Vardiol or a centre back, left-footed centre back. I know Timibo as a left back. And a City here I know I used to most of the time. Nathan Ake, a left centre back. Now Yana City are using a left back. Then no about share Ruben Diaz the aging and the performances. After Laporte, I'm more players video maba. Kusan of Ubai, Kusan of Inshed a lot of games. And from Manchester City, yes, the future is there. Age no on the side. Obetima be red team anytime. But you are playing in an unforgiving league. And City didn't want to a certain standard be as see no obi ehunu City as underdogs. See now the tag be bowa expectations become different. And I say wow don't want to talk about mo baby so fancy. E to be a first ya na wo ya na wontimi nya biem. E be a first wotimi kwotena awo ho no agya betie 2. No agye kuruma kakra busu meko e be ane ama ne bi di atoso. But say no omo abaye do to a certain extent say nipa ni mu ama wontimi kwaje abetie ne say obegye kura na agye osoma. Na osoma e di abetie na bre ofie no wabetete adi. So when City are, they need to build from the back to the front. Already, Kyle Walker is moving out of the system. Fancy. You share what City went throughout the season. Nian discussing who said the kind of signing City are picking. I idea bet me push because when you're about how I feel about Guardiola or how I feel about City's dominance, but it's about the reality of the situation City finds themselves in. City lose league by November. So Shadrack bet mama a graph no depicting when City lost the league. Any more chances of winning the league now. Oba was by November na City lose league no or lose league the cry. Fast forward. O check Manchester City in terms of players are Pep Guardiola signing. Now her graph ni dia. You understand said the last time Guardiola tore a lot of players fancy was back in 2017 and 2018 season. I'm only kind signing 9 players for an average or score spending here 278 million pounds. The next one I ban here 2024-2025, 8 players already 209 million pounds. The team makers the City might be doing one of their biggest rebuilds in the year because 17-18 no was a City shisha omunioma. That was the time Guardiola befa team man and nya brese was a league in your man ultimate jemeboa. But why is it that 2024-2025 comes second? Because this is also another moment where City will need to rebuild.
We bet me a change 17-18.
We bet me a change 17-18 the no crack. And as you see as player value kosoro. And this is 17-18 no. So 17-18 na City top player 10 million pounds and they go 15 million pounds. Okay. Fancy. City used to 30 solid players this season. Different. This is so unlike of Manchester City and Guardiola. It didn't come up also a small squad, or a small squad, or a small squad. But fancy, what are their problems? Not fancy. Shadrack Dion said, okay, very good. Had a number of players I was using this season. 30 solid players as compared to 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22. About how many players now know you shoot? How was shooting here? From 23, 24, at the core, 30. Different players. You bet me a blame on 2 things. 1, an aging squad. 2, out of form players. Any players you are signing, I be an young man. Jagule, she say no in TB. Phil Foden, we pra no akwaba form nini ho. But the biggest problems of Manchester City na me fancy and na pese me di wie. Shadrack bet me their 2 screen so amaya. The problems of Manchester City and where they rank this season. Actually say, Omoto Randes, Omoto Ransheki, Omoto whoever they want to buy in the midfield no. Omo show omo center back ni omo full back row because ana Kyle Walker. Fancy. Na bibia City achia. No na quiet day okokover. Goals conceded 4th in the league. 44. Expected goals conceded 7th in the league, 48.48. Share backward passes in the Premier League.
Central defense, what they say, no, they Victor Hayes, ne Kusanov, a buyer.
I know Mummy really buy and say, Friday to no more.
Season a City struggle.
What you say? And if I saw no more. Then there is goodness conceded, never duels lost. City are losing on all 4 fronts from the first phase of their build-up to the last phase. And even more defend here, the number of passes they allow opponents to play before Ansano ma press no, I was down. Guardiola Edumane so.
Rodra Bantibia.
Guardiola Edumane so.
Okay, I'm on.
Edumane so.
Wo, Mate, Mesa, Mike.